welcome back to Tales from the World's Firesides. I'm Clive Gilson, the story guy, and today I'm telling a traditional West African folk tale called The Election of the King Bird, from a story adapted from Elphinstone Dayrell's book Folk Stories from Southern Nigeria, first published in 1910 by Longmans, Green and Company, London and New York. But that's enough, let's get on with the story. The Election of the King Bird. Old Town, Calabar, once had a king called Isaiah, who, like most of the Calabar kings in the olden days, was rich and powerful, but although he was so wealthy, he did not possess many slaves. He therefore used to call upon the animals and birds to help his people with their work. In order to get the work done quickly and well, he determined to appoint head chiefs of all the different species. The elephant he appointed king of the beasts of the forest, and the hippopotamus king of the water animals, until at last it came to the turn of the birds to have their king elected. Isaiah thought for some time about which would be the best way to make a good choice, but he could not make up his mind as there were so many different birds who all considered they had claims. There was the hawk with his swift flight, and of hawks there were several species. There were the herons to be considered, and the big spur-winged geese, the hornbill or toucan tribe, and the game birds, such as guinea fowl, the partridge, and the bustards. Then again, of course, there were all the big crane tribe, who walked about the sandbanks in the dry season, but who disappeared when the river rose. And there were the big black and white fishing eagles. When the king thought of the plover tribe, the seabirds, including pelicans, the doves, and the numerous shy birds who live in the forest, all of whom sent in their claims, he got so confused. He decided, therefore, to have a trial by ordeal of combat, and sent word round the whole country for all the birds to meet the next day and fight it out between themselves, and that the winner should be known as the king bird ever afterwards. The following morning, many thousands of birds came, and there was much screeching and flapping of wings. The hawk tribe soon drove all the small birds away, and they harassed the big waders so much that they very shortly disappeared too, followed by the geese, who made much noise, but winged away in a straight line as if they were playing Follow My Leader. The big forest birds, who liked to lead a secluded life, very soon got tired of all the noise and bustle, and after a few croaks and other weird noises, they went home too. The game birds had no chance and hid in the bush, so that very soon the only birds left were the hawks and the big black and white fishing eagle, who was perched on a tree, calmly watching everything. The scavenger hawks were too gorged and lazy to take much interest in the proceedings, and were quietly ignored by the fighting tribe, who were very busy circling and swooping on one another, with much whistling going on. Higher and higher they went, until they disappeared out of sight, and then a few would return to earth, some of them badly torn, and with many missing feathers. At last, the fishing eagle said, "When you've quite finished with this foolishness, please tell me, and if any of you fancy yourselves at all, come to me, and I will settle your chances of being elected head chief, once and for all." When they saw his terrible beak and cruel claws, knowing his great strength and ferocity, the hawks stopped fighting between themselves and acknowledged the fishing eagle to be their master. Isaiah then declared that Ituen, which was the name of the fishing eagle, was the head chief of all the birds, and should thenceforward be known as the king bird. From that time to the present day, whenever young men of the country go to fight, they always wear 3 of the long black and white feathers of the kingbird in their hair, 1 on each side and 1 in the middle, as they are believed to impart much courage and skill to the wearer, and if a young man is not possessed of any of these feathers when he goes out to fight, he is looked upon as a very small boy indeed. Okay, that's the story of the election of the king bird. This story also, I think, reflects themes common in African folk tales, where animals are often used to convey moral lessons and social values, and the importance of cooperation and wit in overcoming challenges. It's a tale about fairness, wisdom, and how leadership is determined not by might alone, but by the ability to think creatively. Now, as ever, my main aim in telling these stories is to make sure that we keep access to stories that might otherwise be forgotten or lost to modern readers, especially for readers outside of the originating cultures. Um, I do believe that if we can share our cultures and our tales, we can make this world a little less complex through a small bit of understanding. This tale appears in my book Arakan Tales, which contains around 40 traditional legends and folk tales from the Western African region. Arakan Tales is available in hardback, paperback, and ebook formats from all good retail and online bookstores. If you've enjoyed the story, you can find out more about me, Clive Gilson, the story guy, and Tales from the World's Firesides as a project at clivegilson.com. And there are dedicated channels on Facebook and YouTube, and you can see the links there in the banner at the bottom of the screen. I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the link, like button rather. It always helps to keep these stories front and centre. And please do subscribe to the channels. There's well over 100 stories, I think, now at least getting that far. And there's loads of new stuff coming up every week, so there's plenty to keep you entertained. That's it for now, though. So look, thanks for staying with us. And until next time, keep reading, keep listening, keep watching, and stay inspired.